with their hands of the players and experiencing something that maybe in later years they'll all be part of. So Edwin Janssen will captain this side from the base of the scrum, or the side of the scrum, should I say, rather, for Hamilton's. And we're just waiting for the Tygerberg team to come out too. And just looking at this team here, alongside me in commentary today is Morgan Newman. And Morgan himself played for this club, in fact played with some of these players. He's still a youngster himself, and of course coached the club too, which is wonderful to know. So Tygerberg come out. They don't have the same injury count as what Hamilton's have coming into this tournament, as we heard from the Hamilton's coach, Robert Ulrifi, that Ulrich Johannes will captain this team from the number 8 position. And this could be a real humdinger. Morgan, I mean, I'm sure you're looking forward to this game with pride on the one side, but on the other side, the importance of club rugby in South Africa.
Yeah, good afternoon, Gav. Without a doubt, looking very much forward to what we can expect from these two sides. Two very, very good sides, two sides I know very well. And I have no doubt that both sides will come out and want to play a really impressive brand of rugby. You know, I think it's that time of the year where they're going to try a couple of combinations potentially as you look at that starting lineup there, Gav.
Well, if you look at the back there, starting with Wynand McLaughlin, and you were talking about him a little bit earlier, very talented man, playing in the full-back position. Nick Roebuck, who's come quite a way too, obviously, but there's a lot of talent in that side, along with the Tygerberg team, where again as well, you know, there's a couple of provincial representatives here. Yes, maybe of yesteryear, not yesterday, but still, the talent is there, you know, to show their worth. I think the biggest challenge is for these guys to play 3 games in 4 days is really quite tough going, isn't it?
Yeah, well, without a doubt, I think squad depth is going to play a massive role. And how many players they potentially came down to this weekend with plays a role. We know Hamilton's have a couple of players work commitments. They haven't been made themselves available for today, but would potentially be available for the rest of the week. So very interesting to see sort of where these teams are find themselves at this point in a season. Some of them only having played 1 league game so far.
Well, one's got to say too that both of these teams are relatively young, in that there's only 2 players over the age of 30 in the Hamilton squad and 4 over the age of 30 in the Tygerberg squad, so which is quite different to a lot of the other teams. And 20-year-old Dylan Phillis, who's playing at lock forward for Tygerberg. It's a big game for him as a youngster too.
Yeah, the age gap amongst these two teams fairly big. Some weren't even born and others were already playing club rugby in the Western Cape, but nonetheless, 2 massive contenders in Western Province club rugby will be coming out here and going hammer and tongs in this opening encounter. Seems as though the wind is at the backs of the Hamilton side, which could play a role early on. We're interested in seeing the approach that they adopt early on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question, and we will no doubt discuss that as the game progresses.
Captain, you guys good?
So Tion Boertes gets things underway at this 2025 Easter tournament here in Saldanha. And the first difficulty is what a start we've got here, and we will try. Can you believe it? After 12 seconds, Hamilton's have got the first try of the tournament.
Well, without a doubt, that's the perfect start for Hamilton's. I'm not so sure for Tygerberg. Interesting, they didn't want to set up the ruck, decided to go, even though the ball had bounced. Maybe the right call would have been to potentially set up a ruck, put everybody on side, but just allowed the chasing pack of Hamilton to come through. And it's the tallest man in that squad, Zandru van der Merwe, who creates the charge down, scores the try, and take a 5-0 lead in 1 minute in, Gav.
Yeah, they've certainly done that. And I suppose Raven Smith will be asking some questions about that kick of his that was charged down. But again, the difficulty sometimes with playing into the wind, it's perhaps wiser sometimes to try and rather carry the ball up.
Yeah, there we see it. I think the first mistake comes not catching the ball out of the air from the kickoff. And then once it bounces, it just creates so much time for the chasing back to come forward. And then Zandru, the first man there.
Play on backwards of Tygerberg. No more.
Tygerberg have secured possession.
Use it now.
Out from Korea. I'm sure they've had some discussions about carrying the ball as opposed to trying to kick it.
First initial pass was forward.
Ball knocked on that occasion there by Adrian Roberts.
Yeah, Tygerberg again early on showing their intention, happy to try and get the ball into the wide channels. Unfortunately,
Ackerman, rather, my apologies, who knocked that on. There were some calls there as to whether that was deliberate or not, but the referee
Crouch.
Jafta is
Point.
not worried about that. Jabin Jafta, he's said we'll have the scrum instead. So Christoph Smith with a put in.
Varnish.
Wirtus. Well, I'm not too sure what that was for from Jabin Jafta, but it might have been a collapsed scrum.
There's the mob.
yeah, referee obviously happy to lay on his marker nice and early, going to be strict. He's probably spoken to these pack of front rowers before kickoff already. It says, seems as though he says sort of scrumming in maybe from the left-hand side there.
What I liked about that, though, was immediately had his arm out and looking to try and play advantage. That's one of the keys with these club rugby festivals, is to try and let the game flow. The players want to really play their rugby. And yes, maybe kicking, you find less and less and less, but that was a great kick there from Tian Wirtus. Suddenly they are right back on things. Hamilton's carried up by Nick Robeck.
No, you're off.
And some good support there as well from Rulofsson.
Shot. Ball's available.
They are so close now, are Hamiltons. And Tygerberg don't need to give away another 5-pointer here. Least of all a 7-pointer. Well, that ball held on the deck there. Yeah, I think that's a penalty that to Tygerberg. So a little bit of relief there for the men from the north of Cape Town.
Big steal on the ground there. It looked like from inside centre, Adrian Roberts, but the ball doesn't go out.
Carry up there from Rulofsson.
No more release.
The very mobile pack that both sides have got. And a quick ball out there as well. There's the little chip kick this time from Zitzman. The bounce is not favourable for the right winger there, Lance Lambracht. But they'll have the throw-in, will Hamiltons. And of course the other difficulty here, Morgan, as well, is throwing in the lineouts. When you've got a wind blowing like it's blowing across the scrum, and get your accuracy right is not easy. So I guess at the end of the day, you and I are both backline players, but throw to the front man.
Throw the two ball, get it in.
No contest.
Well, he's denied that, but they've done really well there with a catch and drive. Zitzman standing up close, along with Robeck.
Away, no more.
Both two powerful men. Christoph Smith. Carry this time from Edwin Janssen, the captain.
No, leave the line.
Now, can they get over? This is the man who scored the first try, Van der Merwe. Smith, change of direction, looks to go himself.
Tackle, release. Captain, now.
Desperate times this year for Tygerberg. It's almost like a question of time now. If they can control the ball, get over. Well, they haven't managed to do that. There's a knock-on, and Tygerberg, for the second time, get out of jail.
Yeah, knock-on coming there from Francois Breitenbach. Great defense around the racks there from Tygerberg. But I want to go back just a couple of phases. Hamilton's on the attack inside the 22, kicking the ball away. Yes, the line-out is a great attacking opportunity, but I'd love to see them maybe just hold ball in hand.
Just keep it up.
Sitzman just felt like he put it on the boot too early there. Almost want him to hold it through the phases, create that attack and wave after attack. Nonetheless, good defense here from Tygerberg.
A kick pass is only good if it works.
Point.
Like any pass, I suppose, then.
Set.
Too
Hold.
true, yeah. Chester Kruger. That scrum off. I tell you what, the Tygerberg pack is under a little bit of pressure at the moment.
Let's go, gentlemen.
They've got the put in.
Just don't pre-engage that side. Ear to ear to bite.
And no doubt a very strong, at least 7-man scrum that'll come from Hamilton's.
Crouch.
Such a difficult position on the field here for Tygerberg. Do they carry? Do they look to put on the boot? Potentially only reach the 22.
Set. Ball's out.
Oh, they've managed to get away with that. That's very well played by them. Now running up the kick downfield. It's a really big chase that, but Tygerberg have done so well to get away from their goal line. Smith getting lots of possession, looking for Zitzman to carry the ball up if he can. Big inside centre. Just doing the basics well are Hamilton's. They know they've got the wind at their backs. And to get as many points as they can on the board, and they certainly are giving it full tilt to get as many as they can by half-time. They'll be into the wind in the second half. Long pass there from Tian Buertes. Support coming there from Edric Viljoen. Buertes. A little tap kick, and it's come back favourably to Hammies. Oh, just a little knock on, but they'll come back though. It's a penalty, this, to Hamilton's. And Morgan, you know, what's your call, yeah, chap? Do you just keep plugging away to get another 5-pointer or 7-pointer?
Yeah, I think their lineouts worked fairly well. Go for the touch, keep them under pressure. Easy to say before the lineout happens. The lineout goes and it's a whole different story.
Well, you got the first half of the equation right. They've gone for the line-out. Now the next one is how well does Francois Breitenbach throw this ball in? With accuracy, he's done it again. Excellent throw in.
Sound player going down. Sound player going down.
Can't imagine how tough it is for a hooker with a wind like this. Still, they come to Hammies. They are so close once again. Twice Tygerberg have thwarted them on their own goal line. Can they do it again? No, it looks like they can't. It's yet another try for Hammies. Devin Martinez, I think it is, who's a former junior Springbok, who's got the try.
The man from Ridarsdorp backing his size and strength so close to the try line. So hard to stop. Body position really good there. Had two Tygerberg defenders in front of him, but still manages to reach over.
So Tian Buertes with a conversion. Thought he judged the wind pretty well there, but it looks like it just shaded the imaginary upright. I say imaginary, and uprights only go up so high.
It's the correction there.
That try to Martinez, but it actually went to Reese Fulford.
Just hold the Tygerberg.
So Reese Fulford doing really well there. Former Western Province under-20 player, as we find many of these players in these teams have played age group rugby, besides those that have played provincial rugby.
Backwards of Tygerberg.
Ball surrendered on that occasion by Hammies. Out from Kruger. Taken in there by Ashton Hendricks. Now the carry there from Davids, 148 kilograms worth. He's a big boy. That pass is adjudged forward by Jamian Jafta, who was pretty much in line with the players as they were passing it.
Not quite sure that's the right call. Hands going back, even though he's dropping. I think that it's his body position as he passes the ball that makes the referee think the ball goes forward, because he drops away from it as he creates that pass. But nonetheless, it looks as though it's Lance Lamprecht that might be down. Or not down, getting the yellow card, okay?
It looks like Dylan Phillips, the 20-year-old, who's down at the moment. But he has a card that's been dished out. Well, there we go. That's the first one. Lance Lamprecht with a yellow card, the right winger. As if they haven't got enough injuries. Hermes, now they've got Lance Lamprecht off for 10 minutes.
Well, he's usually there, 7 or 8 playing on the wing.
You mentioned that a bit earlier. Interesting to see that as well. Played under 21 rugby for the Sharks. Actually hails from the Outeniqua School in George in the Southern Cape of South Africa. Now this is particularly worrying this for Tygerberg with Dylan Phillips down. Medical staff were right on stream immediately when the need was called for, and it looks like he might have to leave the field, which will be very sad for this young man, and of course puts pressure as well on Herman Masimla, the coach of Tygerberg. Let's keep an eye on number 4 there. There you go. There's a knock on the head. Completely accidental, it seems.
Trying to see where number 24 is. I think that may be the incorrect ruck that we're trying to analyze there.
So they're waiting for the medical staff to bring on a stretcher. So all the way around the stadium here in Saldanha Bay, there's lots of activity, and yes, it is the start of the Easter weekend, so we're going to see, no doubt, plenty of people coming down to enjoy refreshments and have a little bit of fun out here as well. Evandre Lindua is coming on the field, and he'll take the place of Dylan Phillips. And that's a real knock that early in the tournament. Losing a key young player.
That certainly is always the worry with tournaments like this so early on in the season. It can do wonders for players' fitness, squad depth and so forth, but pick up 1 or 2 crucial injuries and it can really be detrimental to your year's preparations as well. Bit of concern on the face of the coaches there. Herman Masimla, I see. Roger Smith, I see.
Well, every precaution, of course, needs to be taken when it comes to injury counts. Well, there's lots of excitement in the stands, of course. Everybody likes to be part of the action. It did very much look like Dylan Phillips took a smack on the head from someone's knee as he was going in for the ball. But again, it's not our job to speculate on these things, but one does just hope that the injury is not a serious one and that he's back on his feet soon.
I suppose the more interesting question is, Gab, where does the yellow card come from? That's maybe something that we should try and find or analyze.
So with just 12 minutes gone in this game, it's 12-0 and 2 tries that have been scored by Hamiltons. The Tygerberg team are regrouping here, having lost Dylan Phillips now, and they've got Evandre Lindua on in his place. And everybody has to wait while young Dylan Phillips is loaded onto the ambulance. Of course, these things can happen in rugby. We know that, Morgan. I'm sure you've played rugby too, where you've had to have a delay like this. How do you keep yourself mentally and physically in shape and ready for the action when this sort of thing happens?
Yeah, I mean, to answer the first part of your question, I mean, it is the nature of the beast. You do know these things happen in rugby. And then it's a matter of being able to switch on and switch off. So importantly, you know, you need to be able to sort of come down from the high of the opening 12 minutes of this game and then be able to switch on again. A lot of teams may do a little mini warm-up just to get them the fast twitch fibers firing again. Other teams will create a huddle, as we've seen Tygerberg do. They'll come in, they'll have some stern words, maybe some constructive words, use it as a chance to just analyze the opening 12 minutes, where we can be better or what we're doing wrong. But it is a very difficult time, especially so early on in the game, when you feel as though you're not really even into the game yet. You don't really need the break, but the break has come.
Well, let's have a look at the potential of the injury and, of course, the yellow card that came about as a result of that, or prior to that. There's a big cheer from the people in the crowd as well as the players, with Dylan Phillips in the ambulance now, no doubt, on his way to the hospital. That ball not kicked out was very well picked up and kept inside as well by Hammies. Just maybe looking for the ideal opportunity here to kick it downfield.
No, ball still in.
So Buertas could give it a real thump, which he's just done. But good positional play, that one's got to say there, from September for Tygerberg. Very neat effort there from Adrian Roberts.
And players feet.
Tygerberg looking a little bit better. They got men outside now. Can they make this, turn it into something? And then inexplicably they lose the ball when they were in a pretty good position there too.
Really good cross-cover defense there from Hamiltons. Just needed to straighten up there, square the hips inside, create the space on the outside, but unfortunately felt as though they're almost just shoveling it into the wide channel, and the cross-cover catches up with the ball.
Up for it went Van der Merwe, unable to hold on to it, but they've still secured the possession of Hammies. Deep in their own 22. Now can Buertas get them further downfield? It's another long kick downfield with a wind. Tygerberg look full of running too when they do get the ball. I tell you what, the screaming in the crowd is quite something. I think there's a special choir that's been brought along by the Tygerberg guys. You might be able to hear them in the background.
You can certainly hear them in the background. Looks as though the referee also getting involved here this time, getting part of the action, finding himself in the thick of things. 10 out of 10 for the roll and a post dive. Who says referees don't take contact, Kev?
I think some of them get targeted at times. Ask Wayne Barnes in England. It's another strong scrum here from Hammies. And they've got the possession too. And that pack of forwards that's been so dominant at the moment remains vital in the second half in particular. So another penalty here to Hammies. I think Tion Burtis has just got to be very sure of his touch finder here. No, this one's also not out. 3 kicks that haven't gone out. Back it comes to Hammies. Well, they're running quite lateral on that occasion. They need someone to straighten the line. Smith.
Never onto the ball.
Now the breakdown points are being strongly competed by Hamiltons. Quick pass out there from Zitzman. Still they continue there with Enrique Orenser.
Backwards.
Burtis, out it goes.
No, no, no!
Well, certainly a lot of possession coming the way of Smith. And there's another good run too by Hammies. They've got all the men in the world there. Was there any obstruction? Might be a question, but the try will be awarded.
We get the luxury of a replay, but I don't think it was anything too untoward in that passage of play. Fantastic on the reverse there from the big man. Shows plenty of gas as well, does Reese Fulford, the try scorer. And there's still presence of mind to create the offload for Francois Breitenbach. And over Hammies go for yet another score.
Halfway through the first half. And things going pretty well here for Hamilton. 3 tries and a conversion. All 3 tries coming from the forwards.
Certainly didn't look like obstruction to me. A little bit of argy-bargy post dotting the try down, but I think all good there for Hamiltons. That's a 19 or 17 points to 0 lead.
Yeah, with a wind like this, you often wonder whether you have games of 2 halves, you know. And so much depends on very simple factors in the basics of rugby to take things into account. Beautifully plucked out of the air there by Ashton Hendricks, former Western Province under-21 player. And then on to Joseph. They really have looked full of running at times, have the Tygerberg team, but unable to really penetrate Hammies' defense, and some basics from them too. Little knock-ons or maybe passes going astray, which wouldn't have helped their cause. Now Burtis with another kick downfield. And this time he's making
No,
sure
still inside.
it was not carried back into the 22, so it's a very good kick that from the fly half.
I gave a, you know, earlier you spoke about game of two halves. Often one has to wonder how many points is enough when you've got the wind at your back. We often used to say this is a 2-point, 7-point wind or a 14-point wind. Not quite sure what it is today.
I'd be very comfortable with those 17 right now. There's still some time to
Leave
play
the nine
too.
now.
The main thing is to make sure you don't concede any. And it's very tough for Tygerberg. Yeah, outside of carrying the ball, kicking is almost taboo, if one thinks about it.
No hands.
So Tygerberg, when they are carrying the ball, are not really making substantial meterage with every time they carry the ball upfield. So a lot of their movement has been forced to be lateral. Oh dear. Well, here's a change. It's going to be such an easy run in here for Wynand McLaughlin. From the fullback position, the interception, and try number 4 and a bonus point to Hamilton's.
Yeah, there's a man I know very, very well. Played with Wynand McLaughlin, heaps of experience, the most experienced in this Hamilton side, if you ask me. And there, once again, just Tygerberg, just too lateral, no real straight running, nobody's stopping defenders. And with the experience that this man has, very easy to read through the hands. Tygerberg try and put it. And McLaughlin intercepts it. Plenty of gas, didn't need it. Over he went for his first score.
Has he always played at fullback?
Played at fullback. He's a very, very good fly off as well. Got a great skill set. Has the ability to play on the advantage line, very skillful. So
Bottas with the wind at his back, unable to convert. So just the one conversion from the 4 tries. And I can promise you that hoot in the background is not half time.
Tygerberg need to try and score next. Any form of points. Next keeps them in the game, one feels.
Well, Tygerberg have got 5 players with provincial experience. Also 5 students in their side, so young men with lots of aspiration, but few opportunities that have really been taken by them. Over the top from Smith. It's a good kick that. It's allowed to bounce, but somehow they've managed to hold on to it, have Tygerberg.
No.
Kruger absolutely swamped by the counter-ruck
No more.
from Hamilton's.
Play it. Away tackle. Step.
Morgan Newman was talking about the lateral movement.
No.
And we see far too much of that from these guys from Tygerberg. But now they've managed to open up a bit more space. Some terrific running down the right wing. This could be a try for them. It will be a try for them. And it's Carl Daniels who gets over for the first points for Tygerberg.
And that certainly is the Tygerberg way, playing on the counter. Much better this time, finding the space nice and early. Stopping the inside defenders, and that's where the key really lies. It's just that stopping of inside defenders, the shoot out of the line. And then it's too much pace. Around the outside does Ryle Daniels go. Doesn't look like anybody's going to stop him, and over he goes for Tygerberg's first score. And I said it just when Hamilton scored, but this score keeps them in the game for sure.
I think it does, and it begs your question a little bit earlier, you know, would you be happy with 17 points? And my comment to you was, yes, but they must not concede any. Well, they've just conceded 5. This will be a very difficult kick, this.
Adrian Roberts certainly strikes it very, very well.
He was practicing beforehand and had a little bit of a fade on his kick. This time he got a slight hook, but it's a very good kick, yeah.
I almost said the commentator's curse, but none of that. Adrian Roberts, also a man with heaps of experience in this Tygerberg side. Played it fly off for large portions of his career as Adrian.
Also played for Western Province, didn't he? Now Tion Burtis, who's had a lot of possession coming his way. It's like Tygerberg making a change here. Adams coming on for Davids. Robin Adams on for Elric Davids.
And that can often be the problem when you're playing with the wind. Tion Burtis getting the angles wrong. You know, so often they talk about wind at your back. You've got to make sure your angles are on the rugby field are pinpoint. This time getting it slightly wrong. Ball runs over the dead ball and going to come back for a scrum down in the halfway line.
Yeah, it's undoing the hard work that he's had from his pack of forwards, who've been really, really quite substantial. And it'll be interesting to see what tactics they use in the second half. But having a pack of forwards that's as dominant as them does make a big difference too. There's the commentator's curse, isn't it? This time, Tygerberg standing their man. Bear in mind, they've just brought on Robin Adams, who's an NSRI lifeguard. He's a man of substance.
Exactly what I was going to ask. Does that substitution have an impact? And immediately it does.
And the important element here as well, you know, you get the penalty, you make sure you kick it out, which just keeps the pressure in their own half on the opposition. Tygerberg's starting to come into their own a little bit more now. They're getting a little bit more possession. They're using it more effectively.
They are slowly trying to find their feet.
This time they get over the advantage line. Roberts, man outside. Could be another try. It will be another try. What a finish. Brilliant play that from Tygerberg. They're back in the game.
Brandon Collins, your try scorer. We know exactly what Tygerberg can do, and they're showing it right there off the top of the line out. Hard straight, this time much more direct from Tygerberg. And it's that man, Adrian, that straightens it up. And there's still plenty of work to do, still fullback to beat. Has the ability to make the offload to Brandon Collins, who steps on the inside to beat the cover defense. And just like that, it's a 8-point game.
Well, the conversion is good, but good lateral vision too in that offload from Roberts. He knew the winger was on his, watch that, there's the pass. Perfect, good running there, change the direction, and Collins gets another try. I tell you what, this could be game on now. Just 8 points in it.
Well, a confident Tygerberg side can be so dangerous. Here goes Adrian Roberts once again.
Shows the importance of having experienced men in your team too. So Reese Fulford was just a little shake of the head there. The things not quite going the way of Hamilton's. They started off with a real flourish in this game.
What you doing,
But it's Tygerberg who've shown their way back. And that man with the ball in front of him, Adrian Roberts, the age of 32, those 105 kilograms of his have been most effectively used. There again, you can see the importance there. Roberts making sure you got the kick out so that they can compete at line-out time. And that's just perhaps where Tion Borders hasn't quite got it right with his kicks downfield. He hasn't made sure that they didn't counter-attack against him. Things are opening up here for Tygerberg. Now the kick downfield from Collins. Who's going to win this race? First up is Hamilton's, but they are thrust back towards their own goal line.
Use it. Hold, hold.
Again, the kick is not out. And Roberts has just knocked it off. No, it did go out.
Why not?
There are two lines there, and I picked the wrong one.
Stay line, you can't tell them when to play quickly or not.
Still a throw in for Tygerberg.
Tygerberg now playing the right game against this Hamilton side. This will suit them just perfectly. Lots of air, quick plays. Suiting Tygerberg really well at the moment.
So the lineouts have worked well for both of these teams, as our little strip there shows us.
Now let it go. There's the ball, use it 9.
So Smith, Boertus, out it goes there from Zitzman. The purposeful running of Hamilton's is not quite the same now as it was early in the game. And I think Tygerberg also are organisation.
Yeah, it seems as though the drive from Cape Town may have just made them slightly fast asleep. They're finally finding their legs. Communication is up. There's a bit more energy in that side, actually, to be fair. Maybe the injury played a role, just dampened their spirits a little bit, but they seem to certainly be hitting their straps.
Well, knock on at the line out, which is the first knock on. The lineouts have been good for both of these teams.
Yes, I'm standing this side.
Lance Lamprecht on the right wing. Picked up a yellow card a little bit early on.
Point.
Didn't even see him return from that
Set. Steady.
Sinwin. But he's back.
And suddenly the scrum of Tygerberg is standing up to that advantage of Hamilton's. Collins doing a little bit of goose stepping.
Play on, no tackle.
The ball's been taken away. Oh dear, nearly another interception.
No, in a genuine attempt to go for the ball, so just a knock on.
Well, a little bit of frustration here for both teams.
You need to take a chalpa. This is that.
The referee probably got it right. Says I needed to take a chill pull. Couldn't agree with him more.
So Raven Smith's situation there is quite an interesting one, because there might have been some referees that would have given him a yellow card.
Time's on, let's go. Hamilton's, let's go.
His action for me clearly showed that he actually tried to scoop it.
No, he's there, ball.
But that would also be questionable in the eyes of certain people.
Yeah, well, I think the problem comes in, then it becomes so grey, the decision. The decision needs to be black or white. You go for it, you miss it, you know what you're in for. Otherwise, every knockdown you can make it look as if you're going for the catch, but deliberately knocking it on, you know, Gav?
Use!
So Hammy's trying to use the power of Gerard Ackerman. And now the carry from Reese Fulford.
Rack! Yes, thank you, 12. Tackle away!
Villagers, Hamilton slowly coming back into this game. With some poor passing from them. Relative disorganisation, one's got to say too. And they've given away a penalty. There's no question it's game on here. They were not back 10 metres. That's going to be a yellow card, I think.
You were never onside. Off you go, thank you. Off you go, thanks.
Christian Zitzman getting the second yellow card of the Hamilton day.
Yeah, referee saying he was never onside before he made the tackle. Cynical. I think it was more wanting to get one back at his opposite number.
Sound decision. Sound decision. There you go.
Big hit there from Zitzman. Physical player, strong, skillful. Real asset to this Hamilton side.
Who would have guessed that that would be the scoreline after those first 10 minutes of this game? Tygerberg have really fought their way back in. They've done a magnificent job. Marcelino Adams with a throw in.
No contest!
Taken up there by Marvin Fransman. There's a determination about this Tygerberg team that is certainly showing its face. And they're getting enough possession as well to make a real nuisance of themselves.
Stay on. Tackle!
Lindur
No.
coming into the picture there.
No,
The
leave the
replacement
9,
lock.
4.
This is excellent running here. They really are applying pressure now on Tygerberg. A couple of extra men into a little bit of space.
No!
It's all about defense right now for Hamilton's. Here comes Mr. 148 kilogram.
The ball got stuck in your shed, buddy. Can you get another shed? The ball got tucked into your shed. Yep.
Oh dear.
Yep. Just get yourself a new jersey.
Well, you tell me where they're going to find another jersey that size. For the 148 kilograms worth of Enrique Davids.
That is pure meat.
About 7 to go.
Big carry there. Good call from the referee. The ball gets lodged into the shirt. So even though he's releasing it, it can't go anywhere. But I have to agree, he may come on to the field in a completely different team shirt.
I'm happy with it.
He's not sure they're going to find another one that fits him that size.
Maybe it'll have 148 on the back as the number. The size of the man.
Certainly has made a difference since he's come on.
He's a big man, is Davids.
Left hand side. 9. Crouch. Boy. Sit. No stability. No stability. Both front rowers.
Referee not happy with the scrum. Chester Kruger has got the
Same
put
mark,
in.
gentlemen. Same mark.
Played Western Province,
keep
Craven
steady
Week
until
back
the
in
ball is set.
2009. Just wonderful to see so many of these club players playing for such a lengthy time span. And then when you see the name Chester, you wonder to yourself, was he named after Chester Williams? He was such a hero.
Boy.
He was playing in 2009, 95, work our way back. Could very well be good.
Can the judge relax? Let me handle it. Simple as that. Just get closer.
One of my rugby mentors for
Stability,
sure.
okay? Clear gap at by. Let's go, gentlemen.
He settled
Let's
the
not handle it.
pathway for many people in South African rugby. Chester Williams was a wonderful
Crap.
player, a wonderful person too.
Point.
Sadly missed by all of us.
Sit.
So another strong scrum that from Tygerberg.
No more, no more.
I reckon if Tygerberg can get another try, in the second half, first half, which is not going to come from that kick. And there's only just 40 seconds left
Just get the timing right on the
of
kick.
this first half.
Timing on the kick, yep.
I reckon they're going to go into halftime feeling very proud of what they've done. But can they
1 minute to
continue
go,
that
gentlemen.
with the wind at their
Just
back?
mature behind.
Well, you know, the reality is, at 17 points down, you said you'd be happy with going into halftime. They're now going in with an 8-point deficit. They keep up the intensity, they keep up this energy that they've found in the latter stages of this first half, and I think they're definitely in with a shot.
This is one of the joys of club rugby too. You see the ball moving around the field, player to player, plenty of action. Always good to see. Was that forward? No comment from the referee. Raven Smith getting into a little bit of space there. Now from fullback, it's September.
No, no.
Oh, there is so much pressure on this Hammies team at the moment, and this is why. Great support play from all of them. Have they gone in the right direction? Let's see. It could be back in field it comes. And back they come again in the form of Johannes.
Well tackler.
Ulrich Johannes, the captain of the side.
Captain.
Or rather, the captain of the side.
Vanish, number 1 offside.
Can they use the width of the field? Oh dear.
Number 1 offside.
Carl Daniels was all set for a second try. Nevertheless, they've still got a penalty. It's time up. Do they kick it goal?
Well, that's what my next question to you was going to be. It's almost decision time here for Tygerberg. I would take the somewhat guaranteed 3.
I wouldn't say it's guaranteed. I tell you, that win there, yes, they've got the right kicker. We've seen Roberts has converted both of the tries. It's virtually from straight in front, but anything could happen. I reckon as captain of the side, you and I would have both said, take the 3 points.
Well, reality is you take the 3 now, come back after halftime, have the kickoff, put them deep, try and milk one more penalty, kick another one, and you've scored your 7 points that you're potentially going to go for against the wind in this first half. But it's of course much easier said than done.
Now I can see why you were a coach. So Roberts with a penalty, taking his time. He's got the 3 points, the vital 3 points. And what a half it's been then. Hammies leading Tygerberg by only 5 points. And Hamilton's with those 4 tries that they scored very quickly in the first half. Tygerberg coming with the 2 tries that they got right at the second half of the first half. So let's confirm that score then. At halftime here at the Saldanha Bay 8s, it's Hamilton 22, Tygerberg 17. What a good start we've had here down in the west coast of South Africa with this very, very good first half where Hamiltons are shading Tygerberg, but the wind could be a big factor in the second half. And it remains to be seen just what happens. But these fellows, Tian Boert has kicked off for Hamiltons, and within 12 seconds, they scored a try. Have a look at this. The kickers charged down. Reese Fulford ran forward and managed to, rather Zandra van der Merwe ran forward, scored the try. It was converted, and Hamiltons had absolutely lit up this field. Yes. It continued. There's excellent effort from them.
Player going down. Player going
Not
down.
to be outdone. It was eventually Fulford who managed to get over for their second try. 2 tries from the lock forwards of Hamilton. And that conversion was unfortunately missed, rather. And you saw these lock forwards really playing in this game. And then there was another forward, this time Francois Breitenbach, that got the third try. You see the support play there, but some really good play from the tight forwards of Hamilton. This is within the first 15 minutes of the game where everything started happening. And then they got an absolute lucky opportunity with the interception. And it was Wynand McLaughlin from the fullback position that got in. It was an easy run-in because everyone was on the attack for Tygerberg. And Tygerberg were under the cosh. 22-0 it was. And then they decided, we're going to run this ball. We've got to get decent possession. Let's have a full go at these guys. And they started off with a wonderful try from Daniels. And that was just about the spark that they needed. The conversion was good from Roberts rather. And then Roberts himself did extremely well. Broke through, opened up space, and allowed Collins to get in for their second try, which he also converted. So what an incredible first half that was there, with a half being a sort of a little bit of each thing in some ways there. But look at the turnovers that Tygerberg conceded, but a lot of those were early on in the game, and both teams missing quite a few tackles.
I'm now joined by the president of Tygerberg Rugby Club, Kevin Kivitz. Kevin, before we get to the game, what a privilege for Tygerberg to be at this tournament this weekend.
Morgan, an absolute privilege, beautiful town, a rich history in rugby, playing in the premier tournament in the country, the Easter tournament. We are just overwhelmed to be here. And thank you for you and the guys of Rangers for us.
Yeah, look, I mean, we focus on the game very quickly. Very interesting first half. Tygerberg, without a doubt, in it against the wind. Your thoughts on that first half?
We must just learn to start quicker. We played 2 weeks ago as well against Villagers. Before we knew it, we were behind, but we came back in the game. That one we couldn't pull through. I think score 17-22 at halftime. It's ours to win.
I was going to ask you for a prediction, but before we get there, I mean, Tygerberg, the beginning of their season, where do they find themselves? What are their aspirations for the year?
Last year we made top 6. We'd like to better that this year, and see if we can make at least the semi-finals or finals in the league this year.
And then before I let you go, your prediction for that second half? They've got the wind at their backs against a very good Hamilton side.
Look, we're a team that play 80 minutes, and we're hoping that keeping the game and playing fast, and we can tire them and win the game. And so that's my prediction, Tygerberg win.
Well, there you have it, folks. A prediction from the president, a Tygerberg victory. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Back here at Saldanha Bay in the west coast of South Africa, and we have a thrilling game. Well, we had a thrilling first half, one's got to say too, but look how close that game has evolved to after that big start from Hamilton's. Well, I'll tell you what, the Tygerberg team now in picture,
Captain Hamilton,
were
you
out
guys
quite
good?
early standing on the field. I don't think they can wait for the second half to start because they've got a fairly strong wind at their back. And they no doubt will want to try and make use of that. It'll be interesting to see just what the Hamilton's tactics will be in the second half, playing into the wind. And how tricky it can be sometimes with the ball not going much distance. And there we see it. Tian Boertes at fly half, looking to kick the ball back downfield, has gained around about 3 or 4 meters from the kick. And immediately Tygerberg on the attack. Their line-out's working efficiently.
Just stay here.
Starting off the second half, a little bit like they finished the first half at Tygerberg.
No! Plan, no influence, they're getting out.
Some good positional play. Well, there's an interception. Now, they gave away one early in the first half. Here's another interception, this time belonging to Brendan Collins. And what a start here for Tygerberg in the second half.
Well, the big question at halftime was, can the Tygerberg side continue where they left off in that first half? And this is a really, really good start by them. Not necessarily as the result of their own great play, but that same man that caught the intercept in the first half gives away the intercept now. Bernard McLaughlin trying to create the offload. And it's that man going in for his second, Brandon Collins. And there we see what it means to him.
Well, this conversion, if it's successful, will take them into the lead for the first time in the game. And this man has kicked so well, Adrian Roberts. Got all 3 of his kicks over. Got a very comprehensive technique. He took his time and he made 100% certain of it, and there they go into the lead, Tygerberg.
There we see, just looking for the offload down the left-hand touchline. So well read there by Collins. And over he goes for his second and gives Tygerberg the lead. And Gabe, the question now is the confidence of this Hamilton side may be dented, considering this is not their most experienced side they've ever fielded.
Well, a lot more possession has gone the way of Tygerberg in the last, say, 15 minutes of this game, prior to halftime and now after halftime. And what's the best way to get around these guys? Well, here they come physically.
The C of Comitel and the is sort of capital.
And whatever was promising turned out to be virtually nothing at the end of the day, although they have made some meterage. It's again Tygerberg with the throw-in, whose lineouts are working well.
The body language of both sides is so different at the moment. Hamilton's looking around, who's going to make the magic? Tygerberg G'd up, everybody wanting the ball in their hands.
There's been a lot of good quality in this game. Tygerberg happy to carry it. No doubt they'll kick it. If they do kick that, it'll be a long way downfield. And not out. Well fielded there by Lyle Daniels. Or rather, Lyle Daniels, Enrique Aronson. A supreme team effort is what's needed, but I think the confidence levels, Morgan, you were talking about, are so too. And here they come. Now, where's the support, though? That's the call. Zitzman has done really, really well, yeah. Back it comes. Here's going to be a try. And eventually Enrico Arendse gets a try, but what an effort that from Andre Zitzman. Christian Zitzman, rather.
I spoke about the skill set of Zitzman, strength, such fantastic ability as a 12 does Christian Zitzman, and they showed a whole array of it. Looked as though there was nothing really on. Came in at first receiver, then beat 2 or 3. This is the 4th man that he's fended off. Then plenty of work, 5th man to beat. And as Collins comes back on the cross cover, still has the presence of mind to offload with the left hand. The support is good from Enrique Arendse. And just like that, that may be the spark that this Hamilton side need.
I think there'll be a big cheer if this goes anywhere near the uprights. Probably the most difficult kick of the day for Van and McLaughlin. Not a bad effort. A little bit short and a little bit wide. But they're back in the lead, Hamilton.
And there it is, Zitzman. Ball in the left hand, fending with the right. Went all of 60 meters before eventually Arendse came for the support. And over he goes.
Well, he said he had to make up for that yellow card that he got, Christian Zitzman. And he did that so well. Here he is again in picture. Kick downfield.
Play on, play on.
So down they go.
No hands, Rock. Stay on the line.
Another kick downfield and
Outside. Get out, Hamilton's retrieve.
a return kick which has got some sort of distance on it. Pretty dangerous, one's got to say. And a bit more kicking now from both teams. Oh, Arendse opens up there. Another chance. Which way does this bounce? I'm not quite sure what to do with the ball on that occasion there, Tygerberg. But Hamilton suddenly, exactly what you said, Morgan. It's a changed
Backwards.
team.
Backwards, backwards.
Another kick downfield. Like a football game, in a way.
Take out the release. Get down the release. There now. There's the ball.
It's amazing how the
let
dynamics
it go.
of a rugby match can change.
It's your own player. Yep, thanks.
Sometimes it's a little thing. Sometimes it's a lot of little things. Sometimes it's a big thing. But right now, they're getting a lot of possession, our Hammies, and looking to use it effectively. Can they find a way through? Have they got the man with pace? They certainly have with that fellow. But Arendse eventually into touch,
So knock
close to
on.
the try line.
Oh, there's certainly going to be a couple of bodies lying around after that passage of play. Fitness going to play a massive role. Looked as though Arendse, that was all money. Ball in the wrong hand. Just gets caught with a cross-cover defense there.
No, it was a good contest.
From
Is it 12 continuing, Captain?
Peter John Joseph.
Because he's been down a time now.
Aubrey could see a
Yes, it's a scrum.
on
It's your
for
ball,
Francois
Tygerberg.
Breitenbach at hooker for
Yep.
Hamilton's. Could see having played
We're going.
some provincial rugby for the Free State, schooled
Knock
at
on.
Paul Roos in
Yep.
Stellenbosch. But this is a big scrum, this. Big scrum,
back
this
on.
for Tygerberg.
Seconds.
Well, for both teams, of course. Hamilton looking to try and extend that lead. Tygerberg
Crouch.
trying to find a way to come back into this game again.
Point. Sit. Steady first.
They'll have to reset that scrum.
No, both of them overextending. Yep. Both of them overextending far side. You're off. South is off. Yep, he's off. Yep.
That scrum's gone down.
Gentlemen, we're going time zone.
It does look
Let's
as
go.
if there's going to be a need for another replacement on the Tygerberg side.
You two
They've
closer.
already lost Dylan
Head and
Phillips.
shoulders not below the hips, both of you, okay? Get closer.
Now brought
Yep.
Waylon Turin on.
Just turn my left hand side. Let's go. Crouch! Point!
I'm not exactly sure
Set.
who he's replaced.
Keep it
It'll be
up.
one of the backline players. Waylon Turin is
Yellow,
a
going
natural centre three-quarter.
Yep.
So the penalty for Tygerberg will provide them with
Yep.
some possible relief, making sure of their touch finder. Accuracy is so important in a windy game.
I have
So
to
get
agree
half
with
a
you,
meter
Gav.
from the middle. Yep,
Good
the
kick
line's
there
the
from
middle.
Collins, very accurate, in fact.
Yep.
Marcelino Adams, man from Piketberg, with a throw-in. Just see that Roche Rulofs are coming into this game a little bit more from the number 8 position for Hamilton's. He's had a little bit more freedom of running too, but unfortunately the
Holding
ball
on,
held
let
on
it go,
the deck.
gents. Number 9, first arriving turn to the ball.
A nice little clean half break there from Hammies. Gotta hold your own body weight. Gets away with one there. You gotta feel is Chester Kruger.
In the meanwhile, Hamilton's on the back foot here with that raking kick downfield from
Lines the middle,
Tygerberg.
yep.
They've got themselves into or on the 22-meter line with the Hammies try line beckoning behind them, or in front of them rather. Well, that ball tapped
To
down very,
release.
very
Hands,
untidy.
captain. Stay on.
Now, this will unveil some of the tactics that
Now there's the
Hammies
ball,
will
don't
try
push it into.
and
Get
utilize.
down. Stop in front.
Once again, not huge meterage found with the kick.
Yeah, I've got to agree, you know, windy conditions, you pass the ball 15 meters back, only for your fly to kick at 30 meters. Why not just kick from the base? Kick contestable, kick at 50, even if the scrum up only kicks at 20 meters, he's still getting
that's his
more
middle move over.
meterage than passing at
Just watch
15
your feet,
meters
buddy.
back.
Your mathematics have not let you down, Morgan Newman.
No hands. No hands.
But the theory of that, of course, is 100% right, depending on how much pressure you are at scrum off at the breakdown point or the scrum to be able to effectively get a kick in. There's another little kick. Plucked out of the air. Neat work there from Orenser.
No, no, no.
But there are times when Tygerberg
Knocked us on the
absolutely
ground.
swarmed the breakdown point and put so much pressure on Hammies.
10 and 7, you're off. Hamilton's. 10 and 7. Yep. Thanks, Shane.
So, Take a Lot is the sponsor on the jersey of the Hammies guys, and Take a Lot will provide a 1,000 rand
just have a
voucher
look
to
that
the
side.
man of the match, whoever he might be, and
Just
That
come
we
closer
will
and
be
give the AR a
discussing.
better picture, number 1.
probably not
Yep,
at
pick him
length,
up.
but I'll wait and see what Morgan has got to say in terms of the man of the match.
Will certainly be a shared decision, Gav. Your experience. Right now, a couple of names do certainly stand out.
Crouch.
Inside center of Tygerberg, I thought Adrian Roberts, before he got substituted, really put his hand up, he's put in a good shift, but still plenty of time for somebody to
Is both of them going
spring
down?
to mind.
On the get closer, gentlemen. We can't have a reason
Go.
every time. Your side, okay?
All the teams
He's got to
coming
be
in
somebody.
here.
Either get it right, or we get somebody else.
Got
on
the
to
next
do it
up
right,
game
okay?
between
Let's
the
go.
Evergreens and the Northern Rhinos, who hail from the Limpopo province. And then straight after that game, there's the opening ceremony. And then it'll be Blanco United against Kreisfontein. And last up tonight, Saldanha against Worcester Villages.
Point! Set!
A little change there as well, which is not surprising, but it's Tygerberg going full tilt once again. Another chance. Here they come. Can they get it down?
Time's off. Time off.
Well, it hasn't been awarded yet.
We're sending this one upstairs. TMO. Try, please. Couldn't have seen the grounding. Yeah.
So what they're looking at is the grounding there.
Well, he certainly carries nice and strong. Great tackle on the ball. The question is, does he ground it before he loses it? It's that old debate of downward pressure between you and I, Gav.
We're back there again. Well, the question I would have is, did he ground the ball out of vision as he went over the line? Maybe this angle will give us a better feel for it.
I think this looks like it's a good tackle from Hamilton's to dislodge the ball before the grounding.
Was it grounded there? That's the question.
Well, is he over the line first?
Yeah, that would be a second question, sure. Then when he rolled over, almost as if he lost control of the ball.
Certainly he loses the ball after the roll. The question is there downward pressure before the roll, I'd say.
Let's talk about no separation.
Still having a little.
Don't you come with that now. I don't want to hear about your control. So that would mean your hand on the ball and the ground, the ball on the ground at the same time. And it almost looks like that was the case there,
Knock on.
but no. The TMO's decided no.
No, it's a knock on.
That's
So it's a
great
scrum.
defensive work, one's got to say as well, from Hamilton's.
Very,
There's the
very
mark,
good
gentlemen,
defense to
Lucas.
tackle on the ball, but then it's the small margins we talk about in these kind of encounters.
No.
Once again, ball in the wrong hand, opening, exposing himself to the cross cover coming across. Ball should be in the left hand, fending with the right hand, keeping it away from the defender, and over he goes.
Just wait for the call.
You know, Morgan, when you're commentating a lot of rugby at a high level, the provincial and otherwise, we must remember this is club rugby, but it's part of a learning curve as well. Despite the fact that there are some older guys around, there's a lot of young guys here too that should take notice of your comment, for example. Too many players running with the ball under the wrong arm when they're on the wing or whatever it might be. The key is learning. Key learnings are really important for any young player, and also those watching at home. To pick up those little cues.
Crouch.
In the meanwhile,
Point.
Hammies are
Sit. Hold. Keep it
very defensively aligned. They need a strong scrum here. It's disrupted. And Tygerberg suddenly, after struggling in the scrums in the early stages of the game, are now on top amongst the forwards.
Well, they certainly are. Don't think I know enough to pass comment on what's going on in that front row there, Kev.
Well, I have to admit that too, of course.
Certainly looks like a very, very good physical contest up front.
And it was quite the opposite at the start of this game.
So on player going down, leave it.
Importantly for Tygerberg, their lineouts have
Leave
worked
it on
well.
the ground. Yep.
Now, can they make this really work for themselves? Big
Back
charge
out,
there
release.
from Peter John
No
Jones.
more away. No.
They're not standing back for physicality. But again,
He knocked
as
it.
we've seen with the defensive
No, he
team
got out of the way, so he knocked it.
getting out of jail.
Knocked it.
Well, plenty of Hammy's players clapping their hands, just not the front row of Hammy's, because it means they got a scrum again.
Well, it's better than conceding a try, of course. So important for them. Really a good, strong scrum here that's needed.
Crouch. Point.
Put in from Christoph Smith. That's scrum off for Hammies.
Let's go.
The referee's come around to have a look at this now, just to keep an eye on just
Let's
what's
go.
happening
Thumbs
in
up.
that front row.
Crouch. Point. Set. Hold.
Well, down it goes, but this time the penalty goes to Hammies. Wow, we've seen a few sixes and
Easy,
sevens in this
easy,
game, haven't
gentlemen.
we?
Just move away. Easy. Yep. Easy. Yep.
And it's right there in moments like this.
There's the mob.
I always feel like a scrum is such a lottery.
Well, I think a lot of people would agree with you with that too. You know, one never knows sometimes quite what's going on there.
Hamilton's on
And
the line.
deep in the engine room,
Yeah, you're on the line.
but one can't deny the importance of the outcomes eventually, whichever way they go. Both teams have had to defend
Stack
close
it
to their
back.
line. Hammies are struggling to get out of their own half of the field.
Start playing advantage for the offside at the line out.
And do they play the same game as Tygerberg and try and play it as wide as they can and forget about the close-in physicality? Because that's
Number
what
5
changed the
offside
game
in
for
the line out.
Tygerberg.
Well, certainly with the ball or the wind in your face, you've certainly got to play ball in hand approach.
It's on the 50.
Got to get comfortable with holding the ball in possession in your own half for long periods without necessarily making too much yardage.
I think it's almost like it's got to go one step further. Yes, carrying the ball in hand, but trying to find a mechanism to play it wider. There are two really good wings,
Let's
two
get the
fast
timing right,
guys,
5.
you know, and that's where Tygerberg have scored most of their tries through that.
No.
They're not the best of passes down to scrum up, but
No,
they've still
step,
held on
step.
to it, have Hammies. You can see they're searching for that physicality,
Step.
are Hammies,
No,
but it's being met
no.
by
Get down.
Tygerberg. Can they find a way, after maybe the second ruck, where they can just fling it out wide very quickly? Well, certainly the Tygerberg team tackling as if their very lives depended on it. Back inside it goes. This is a chance for Hammy. Now, where's the support play? Is once again the call there. Reese Fulford has carried that ball so well on occasions, but didn't have a speedster alongside him. That's really what was needed. Now they're playing
No
behind
more,
the
no.
advantage line.
No.
They've got men out wide. Can they find a way through? They might well be able to do that now. Oh, some strong work, but a knock on. So, scrum time for Tygerberg. Credit to Hammies for having got away from their try line and worked their way upfield.
Well,
Having
substitutions from Hamilton
Having
certainly
substitutions
having an
both ways.
impact immediately. There's another familiar face for me. that's just come onto the field. Aubrey Kutsia. Fantastic little hooker. Played for the Free State Cheetahs Currie Cup side.
17 voorbij.
A man that I happened to coach in my days at Hamilton's.
Well, this is probably a trend that we'll see a fair bit of during the course of this weekend. You know, 3 games in 4 days is really quite tough for all the players, of course. So no doubt utilising your bench and the men you've got on the side.
Number 11
will be
Hamilton's
called
off.
There'll be another familiar face to you, Gav. Ashton Constance. Played South Africa under 21. Could have been under,
This is the marks.
trying to think of the coach that he could have played under. I think he's in the same time as Paul Dalport.
Yeah, super player.
Sorry, gentlemen.
Lovely to watch
It's your ball.
with those
Here's the
dancing
ball.
feet.
17 gone.
Big man now,
So it's
a
23
little bit
to go.
healthier. I always tell him. At 41 years old, what do you expect?
Crouch. Boy. Sit. Keep it steady. Let's go, 9. Stay on.
It's another strong scrum from Tygerberg.
Wait. Backwards, backwards, backwards. No more, no more. Last seat, stay on. Use that 10.
Another big kick downfield. It's
Play
out,
out,
but
play out.
quick throw in. So now it's Hamilton's turn. Can they find a way through here? They're still in the lead, which they'll be comfortable with.
Step, step, 7. Last seat. Hold. Release.
Another strong carry, this time
Leave the
from
9.
Ajmedin.
No! Release! Release it!
Well, the replacements bringing a little bit of fresh energy to the team. Jacques Fick was one of them, the electrician from
Advantage.
the Eastern Cape. And the guys really
No
piling in there.
advantage. Knock on.
So they'll come back there for the scrum to Tygerberg. One of the interesting things I find as well at the breakdown points with club rugby is they very seldom
Here's the mark.
use the 2 anchors at the back for the scrum half to
18
kick over
points,
the
so
top.
22 to go.
It's always a pass back to, as you spoke about, the 20 meters back to the fullback or the
Where's the
fly
9?
half.
If it's clear to play at the base of the scrum,
Yeah, I
please
think
use
it's
it.
a
Yeah.
combination of 9s not backing their boxing ability, married with the fact that fly-offs have time in the pocket, find long distances. The wingers potentially also lined up opposite the 10 and not opposite the 9. Communication between that in that channel wing.
Not happy with the setup. Just get closer to the mark. Yes, thank you, Hamilton.
Well, the Evergreens guys are in absolutely full voice as they head to the change room for the next game.
Boy!
All looking very smart in their green vests. They're out of picture at the moment, but you'll see them on the field just now.
Pause out, pause out!
This time, strong scrum there from Hamilton's. But here they come again to Tygerberg.
No hands,
And
stay
they know
on,
they're running
stay
out
on.
of time.
Use it.
Do they kick downfield and get field possession to start with, or do they just keep carrying it? Might not be the best tactic, to be honest.
Stack back. Stop.
If you're going to kick it, make sure you kick it a long way downfield.
Get out, Hamilton. Strauss, get out,
downfield.
Chief. Thank you.
Now another chance. Also, not a favourable kick that.
Well, very important now that both teams don't lose their shape Still 14 minutes to play. Still play the percentages, play in the right area of the field if you're a Tygerberg. Hamilton's got to continue to up the ante and hold onto the ball through a couple of phases.
Middle space.
Ball along the ground. Not
Walking on
necessarily
middle,
a bad
keep space.
option there from Tygerberg. There's another rather familiar face I see on the field. Mujahid Noordin represented South Africa at the World Cup for tag rugby, in fact. Former player of False Bay Rugby Club, now joining Amis.
He's a sports scientist, I think, by trade.
The hands! No,
Schooled at Rondebosch Boys High School. They do look full of running when they get the opportunity, Tygerberg.
Use
Now,
it!
that's what I like about them
No,
too. Is it's done at full pace, but you've got to also kick for possession. Now they've decided, let's kick it downfield. Let's send Wynand McLaughlin and his team
Take
back.
out! Now
McLaughlin's
7.
done well. He's gone back there to the midfield. And they've reset once again. And Hamiltons are aware of the fact that they're in the lead. They've got a 3-point lead. They mustn't give away a penalty. Can they find a way? Now, have they got enough pace here to win it on the outside? Some great running here from Christoph Smith. Now, which way is that ball gone? Well, it's still in play.
Knock on. Use it! Vanish over!
Kick downfield is not out.
Stand.
Another chance for Hammies. Not deciding quite what to do with the ball originally, initially.
No. Stay. Now, balls out. Tackle, release. Away. There's a ball. Step now. Step.
Another monster passage of play currently.
Incredible. This is
No,
the first day.
no.
And the players showing their worth. Now
You're
the
off into
question
the
with
play it.
Hamilton's,
Number 9.
can they kick it goal? Can they reach it from this distance? That would be a big
17.
question for them.
I think the safe option here is, once again,
Captain, what to do?
kick it to the touchline, back that line out. I see they've got substitute Friedel Weich who's just come onto the field.
Options.
He's got a vast experience
Just make a decision. You have 17 minutes to go.
in this team as well.
Yeah, they've decided they're going to kick it goal. This was the breakdown point
Still
where the
got 30
penalty
seconds
was
on the kick.
conceded.
Hamilton, just make sure you're on
The
the line.
reality is,
Yeah.
one gets the feeling Tygerberg need to go and score to win anyway. Whether it's 3 points or whether it's 6 points, yes, the conversion plays a role. I feel like you keep them stuck in their own half into the kosh.
Well, it's gone high. Has it got the distance? No. Just about decapitated our assistant referee there. But they remain on the attack here now.
Number 13, Tygerberg, you're off.
Tygerberg have got to find a way
Yeah, 1-3.
to put pressure on Hammies in their own 22.
Who's number
Maybe
13?
they get a penalty as a result of that, or potentially a try. But I think they're playing too much of their rugby in their own half.
Time's back on.
Yeah, it feels like Tygerberg are definitely playing too much rugby. Put it down, they put up good defensive lines, suffocate and strangle them defensively. A penalty in these conditions costs you 50, 60 meters down the field.
Now you've got to try and find the energy. And a lot of that energy
why
has
leave
come
it?
from Reece
Leave it.
Fulford for Hammies.
No offside. No!
And one of the keys getting over that advantage line. Can Hammies do that?
Just
They're
stay
the men in
behind.
possession right now. If they can find a way through and that they find the right level of support,
Stop!
they could put a lot of pressure on Tygerberg. Zitzman. Good effort from him.
No!
lured in, doing some good work as well since coming on as a replacement. It really has been an incredible game of ups and downs, this, hasn't it been? Right from ball one, the first try scored after 12 seconds, and then it's been a seesaw. Still they come, the long pass. Is there a chance here, somewhere along the line? Can they find a way to Lance Lamprecht?
There's the ball. Step.
Oh, good quick pass there too, but a knock-on, unfortunately.
Yeah, what's quite interesting to note is Tygerberg made their substitutions a lot earlier than Hamilton's did. We saw a change in the intensity from Tygerberg as soon as the substitutions were made. With only a couple of minutes left, one gets the feeling those substitutes have also now, legs are also starting to tire. Hamilton's made their substitutes a little bit later, and their intensity seems to just be lifting as the game progresses.
Yep.
For a very exciting final couple of minutes, I can tell you that much.
Interesting point there, and as we could, you might have seen there as well, possession and territory are pretty even in this game. So, you know, we spoke about the wind factor and how much an impression it could make. I think it's been underutilized in some ways, but I also think the wind has slightly died down now. I think it was a little bit stronger in that first half.
Yeah, there's the marks.
Well, it's been a long game, this, of course. Unfortunately, with that injury to Dylan Phillips early in the game for Tygerberg, just held up matters for a pretty long time.
Point! Sit! Use that.
Now, Tygerberg, yeah, they go again. Looking to run in their own 22.
Start playing advantage.
It's just not the right tactics, I don't think. Yes, they've got a penalty, which they can get away with now in a kick downfield. Tap down there from Tygerberg.
Release!
They're starting to run out of time. Tygerberg, they've got to find a way down to that corner flag position. They've got to put pressure on Hammies on their own goal line.
Well, reality is, Adrian Roberts is no longer on the field. Otherwise, they potentially could have gone for the posts. Wind at his back, 50 meters
Just
out.
keep the gap open. Yep, that's fine. Just keep it open.
So there they go. Tygerberg trying to find a hole there somewhere along the line. And a little kick down. Now, which way does this go? Which way does it bounce? Oh, safely for Hammies. But this is exactly where Tygerberg want to be.
Six minutes.
Where do those 3 points come from, or perhaps even 5 for Tygerberg? Right now, it's all about defense too for Hammies. And what a joy it would be for them too in their 150th year celebration.
No more!
If they can start this tournament with a victory. It's perhaps the toughest game that it would be
have to
for
release the
them.
ball carrier. Option, what you doing? Table. Can we just have a time check on the table, please?
This is a really, really big kick. This, as we know, the wind is at his back. Now the question is,
Just having a look at the table.
can he get this over
Just making sure.
and take it
move
to
right in.
27 all?
Thank you.
If the game finishes as a draw, the game is over. They don't play. We don't play it for a golden point after that. So it's considered a draw, and both teams only get 2 points. So this kick is really important right now for September. He's got the distance, but it's not straight enough.
Yeah, 32.
Big drama here in Saldanha Bay. A minute and a half left, roughly, in this match. Hammies have got to make sure they don't give away a penalty.
Game sitting on a knife edge for sure.
It's going to be all about attack for these men. And they're almost forced to keep the ball in hand now, so they can't kick. A lot of their movement has been lateral. They've now gone into touch.
Hey, just move away. Hey, just move away. Just move away.
Tygerberg really just need to stick to their guns, play in the right area of the field. I think they're trying to run from
1
too
minute.
deep currently.
1 minute. That's all.
Well judged there by
Can we just have space?
the AR.
Space. Yep.
It's been a long time since I've seen a game with so many ups and downs.
Now.
From one team to the other.
Now get out. Get out.
Right now it's Hammies
From
with
behind.
that pack of forwards, so only a couple of them, and here they go. Looking for another try. They've got 4 already. In fact, they've got 5. So they've got a bonus point for the tries, importantly. And of course, as with any club rugby play, you just want to keep playing, don't you? You want to score more points if you can.
We're done.
And they're finishing this game with a flourish at the moment. Oh, Hammies. Drop kick now. Oh, now I've seen it all. It's gone past the upright, but it's the end of the game. Wow. What a game we've seen here. Incredible. And Hammies, I think, will be very, very happy, Morgan, with the result at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a game of 4 halves almost, I want to say. Try and work that one out. But in the end, one feels like the draw would obviously almost have been the right result. But Hammies will be very, very happy with this result. Considering the amount of injuries they have, considering a couple of players unavailable for selection in this opening game because of work commitments. And I think in the reverse, Tygerberg will be kicking themselves because they certainly let a couple of opportunities out there.
Somebody once said to me, there's no comments column on the scoreboard. That's the bottom line.
Fair enough. Sounds about right.
Okay, so confirmation then of our first matchup here at the Saldanha Super 8s. It's Hamilton 27, Tygerberg 24. So there we go. Let's have a look at some of these highlights. That was the starting point of the game. And within 12 seconds, that first try was scored. It was all about Hammies in those first 14, 15 minutes of this game. They were dominant. They scored a great try, first up try, and then they got a second one courtesy of Reese Fulford. The first 2 tries belonging to the lock forwards of the Hammies team. Both of the, only the first one was converted by Burtis. And then you saw this terrific run there, again from Reese Fulford, and the final try being scored by Francois Breitenbach. And they were all over, absolutely all over Tygerberg. And then suddenly, something changed after this intercept here, where Vaynant McLaughlin just waltzed over from an intercepted try. And they really were playing out of their boots. But Tygerberg decided, we're going to run with the ball. We're going to play it wide. We're going to use the speed we've got of men like this. And it was Daniels who flew in to get their first try. Very well converted as well by Andre Roberts. And then things just kept going their way. They found another gap. This time Roberts flew through. Good straight running. And it was Collins who got over for their second try, which was also converted. And still they came.
No!
Still they came.
No
Full tilt.
influence, they're getting out.
And then another interception. 2 interceptions in the game. This one belonging to Collins as well. Was there an opportunity for the finishing touches to be made? Zitzman did an unbelievable job going downfield. But watch this offload. There it goes. Orange are flying in. And that essentially was what sealed the game for the Hammies club. Well, in terms of the match statistics, there are a couple of important things there. Tygerberg made 101 tackles. They missed half of them. And I think that was one of the biggest worries that they might have had. Their lineouts were exceptional to start with, then it got a bit dicky. But Hammies were exceptional when it came to the scrums and the lineouts.
All right, folks, I'm now standing with the man of the match, Reese Fulford. Reese, before we get to a chat, I'm going to ask Mary Roberts from Kellogg's Instant Noodles to hand you a 1,000 Rand voucher. Reese, congratulations. Tell us about that performance.
Yeah, I think a good start from the boys. Got a little bit messy, but proud of us for grinding it through and keeping composed to the end.
Listen, it's a great start. You've still got 2 more games to go. What's the chat going to be like in the changing room after this one?
Yeah, we'll firstly take the win. A win is a win. We'll celebrate that, and then we're just going to have to do a review, watch our opponents for Saturday, and then just start building from ground up again.
Reese, all the very best for the rest of the tournament. You are the man of the match, and enjoy the celebrations.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
I'm now going to call on our losing captain, Ulrich Johannes, to come in and chat to me. Ulrich, not the result you wanted, not the start you wanted either, but in the end, I suppose lots of positives to take away from this.
Ja, ons gaan net voortbou op die vir die league vorentoe. Het nou nie so wy gegaan nie, maar ons gaan die vanaf vat en net sterker vorentoe.
Where do you think you guys lost the game this afternoon?
Ek dink ons fundamentals het ons reg gekry nie. Ons het doen op tye wat ons moet doen nie, maar ons kry nog weer in die league, so kan ons dit regmaak.
And what's the chat going to be like? What changes do you think you're going to make before your next game on Saturday?
Ek dink hy gaan baie changes see because daar's 'n paar beserings. Hy gaan miskien changes bring, maar other than that, daar's niks changes wat ek van dink.
Listen, very well done, but all the rest for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. Thanks for the fans. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm now going to call Edrich Viljoen, who is the winning captain of Hamilton's Rugby Club. Edrich, congratulations, good start. What's your feeling?
Yes, we said we're going to come out for that start, and I think the boys just lost it after that. Massive effort from Tygerberg as well, massive effort from our boys, but I think there's a lot of work on, especially going forward. It's not going to get easier than this. Going forward in the Saturday game, Monday game, the bodies is going to feel it, so we're going to have to work hard. But just a massive effort from the boys, and I think the commitment is there, so we just have to work on that.
You started like a house on fire, and then eventually Tygerberg came back into it. Where do you think is the work-ons before Saturday's game?
I think biggest thing for us, we know double negatives is going to cost you. And it started coming just discipline, small discipline stuff went against us, and then we couldn't turn it. And I think that's a massive effort we have to work on, because you have to get that positive after that, and we're going to have to work for that next game.
Erik Viljoen, well done. All the very best for the rest of the tournament, and we look forward to seeing you guys play for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man. Thank you, Saldanha. Thanks for the tournament. It's going to be a lovely community tournament, and it's going to be a massive effort. Thank you, guys.
That is your winning captain, Erik Viljoen from Hamilton's. Back to Gavin in the studio.
And so, here are your results thus far. Just the one game in the bag here at the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Festival. Glad to have it back in our lives for this Easter weekend ahead. What an opening match that was, befitting of the tournament. Hamilton's coming out on top by 27 points to 24. The oldest and richest history in the entire club rugby scene in South Africa.